Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into the Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying, courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunthangar, will not approve you. If you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now understand, I can't get a word in myself sometimes, so be patient. I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do that during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, Saturday at John's, the contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe, and when you subscribe to our channel, make sure you hit the notification bell and select all so that whether myself or Sparky comes on, you'll be notified. Share the videos, comments. All these activities help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member. I have the $4.99 come out of my checking account, and I don't miss it, and I don't think you will too. You can also use the super chat, which is located over here below the chat box, and donate any amount you like, doing it that way. Now, your support helps offset just some of the many expenses that Sparky has running Stunthangar. And with your memberships, you'll get special badges that Sparky and I can see in the YouTube chat box, unlimited replay of member-only videos, and once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I'm on in here twice a week. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel at Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And place your comment or question on the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his video camera, me flying his beautiful Junar XL. And I'll receive a notification and be able to respond to you quickly. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, let me post the link now at Stunthangar Forum. And I'm making my way to that tab. And the post, I'm posting it now at Stunthangar Forum. So now people can get in that way. That's the way to get into the show. If you're watching this and you watch this as a replay, the way to get into the show is to be a member of the Stunthangar Forum, and then Sparky will approve you, and then you'll be able to go in and get the link, which will be at at the bench. And that's how you do it. So right now I'm making my way to Sparky's control panel in his YouTube channel. And that's where I'm headed. This takes me a couple of steps here to do this. And we'll be on our way. So hopefully you're enjoying your Labor Day holiday. I did go do a little flying today. I stopped prematurely. I was actually doing the loops of the pattern, and all of a sudden I felt like my control system gave way or slid or something. It spooked me, as a matter of fact, and so I stopped flying. I haven't had a chance to really check out the plane to see what's going on, but looks like we have 9 concurrent viewers right now. We have 4 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smash that like button. That helps the analytics of the show. I'd like for our show to become a recommended view for people on their home feed when they go to their YouTube channel. And that's why the likes are important. They don't cost you a penny to do that. So please do it while the iron's hot and before you forget. If you're watching the replay, please come in and hit the like button. That helps the analytics of the show. And I have here in the chat Jeff Riley, who's the one who told me about smart men flying. This is the same Jeff Riley. He says, "Hi, Charles. Like sent." Thank you, Jeff. And then Jeff also said, "Happy Labor Day," and happy Labor Day to you, Jeff. And Gary Sinclair says, "Happy Labor Day," and like, and he gave me a thumbs up. Thank you very much. So we'll see what's going on. Now we're up to 8 likes and 11 concurrent viewers. So that's great. Let me do this other thing while I remember. Okay, great. So, all right. So we're streaming, and let me get rid of some of these tabs here so that hopefully I can use very little resources that I have with this computer. This computer might need a tune-up or something. And it looks like no one's coming in. Hey, Jeff, I might need to enlist your help for you to come in, Jeff, or Gary. I know Gary should be coming in. But anyway, so getting back to my event today, I did the reverse wing over, and then I went and did the 3 inside loops. And then right when I was coming down to the bottom, it just felt like the control system like slid, or gave way, and it just freaked me out actually. So then I just held the plane level and landed it as gently as I could. I didn't know what had happened. I didn't know if the lead out guides got loose. Hey, Gary, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're here.
Good, yeah. All right. So how's your Labor Day? How's your Labor Day going?
Rainy.
Good.
We just stayed in.
Rainy, you said?
Rain, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said great. That's why I said great. Oh, raining. Yeah, I talked to Lawrence and Dennis had a mission earlier today, and it was raining in Indiana as well. So, but it was hot. I mean, it was far from rain out here in Southern California.
Yeah.
I think it was about 94 degrees when I was out there flying. I have a few messages here. Dennis Adamison says, "Happy Labor Day, chat, like, delivered. Hello, Jeff and Gary, joining you in a bit." And then Jeff Rowley says, "As hot as it is in SoCal, you are a glutton for a ton of water." Yeah, when I was thirsty, actually I had plenty of water. The only thing I didn't have was shade. And then Jeff Riley says, "Hi, Dennis." Looks like Mark Gerber is making his way in here. That's great. I haven't seen him in a while.
Did I hear you say something happened to your plane?
Yeah, I was doing some maneuvers, and at the bottom of my 3rd loop, it just felt like, you know what I thought? I thought either the lead out guide slid to the back of the plane, or I felt like the upright of the flap moved, I felt like something gave. It really freaked me out. And after talking to Dennis Adamison, we suspect that it might have just been my lines just got stuck and then unstuck. And that's what I kind of might have felt, because I didn't clean the lines. Ordinarily, I clean the lines before I start flying, but I didn't have my, I have to unload so much stuff out of my Blazer. Hey, Stuart, thank you for coming in.
Yep. Right.
Yep.
So I have to unload so much stuff, and it was hot, and I didn't feel like going back to retrieve the towel and paper towel to clean the line. So I didn't clean the lines, and that might have been that's the only which is different than every other time I've gone flying. Because I'm using I don't know if you're familiar with these type of lines, you guys, but they're called Russian lines. It's a brass coated steel line. I'm not sure if it's stainless steel or steel, but they're brass. They're kind of gold looking. They're brass coated. And hey, Keith Trossel, how you doing, Keith?
Okay, Charles, good to be here.
Great. I'm glad you're here.
Yes.
I was just trying to fill this time, and I was explaining my adventures today. I did go flying today, and I suspect that my lines were sticking because it's electric, doesn't have the vibration of an IC motor, and so sticking is kind of an issue with an electric plane. And I have those brass coated Ukrainian lines. Have you ever tried those type of flying lines yet, Keith?
I've got some, I haven't tried them yet.
They're really nice.
You probably already know this. You have to clean them, right, with alcohol.
Yeah, I use this product. I bought it from the Control Line Parts website.
Oh, okay.
It's a matter of fact, I should have brought it in, but it's some sort of liquid. The name is very long, like a chemistry type of name, and I can't recollect what it is. Hey, Dennis, how you doing?
Charles, when we talked today, I told you what that stuff was.
Yeah, snake oil. Yeah.
Yeah, Ukrainian snake oil. You know,
Ukrainian snake oil. Yes. Yeah. Well, it has a really good name. It seems like it's legit.
it's an accurate name. I mean, it's an effective name. Let's put it that way. So
Yes.
it's not chemically accurate, but
I use acetone to clean my lines.
Yeah.
are you using the Ukrainians?
I haven't yet. I've got some, I haven't had an airplane to use them on yet.
Well, they the Ukrainian lines are, I think mine are only 3 or 4 strand, so the diameter is smaller. Hey, Steve, how you doing?
They're two sizes.
How you doing? I don't know.
Doing
why-
well.
that's
Doing
my
well.
name
Thanks for
on
coming in.
computer.
This is your first time in here, right?
It is.
Oh, fantastic.
You and I met about 2 years ago.
You look familiar. You look familiar. So you're Steve Magnanelli, right?
Manganelli, uh-huh.
Thank you, Steve, for coming in. Awesome.
I-
Yes.
I mean, we got to be nice to him, Charles.
No,
Yes.
His first
yes.
time here.
there you go.
Okay, if we have to, just watch out for Gary. All right. So
I'm the president of RC Club at 275. I know how to take it.
Oh, very
ah
good.
man,
Very, very, very good. Now, do
Oh,
you,
man, you
My
were
way.
way to go on that. So whereabouts are you?
San Diego.
All right. I know somebody else down that way.
Just one person?
Actually, two. I know that person and my wife's aunt. They're both in Escondido. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty far. I live kind of more like down by the airport, so
Mhm.
I think I'll do some of my flying around Mission Bay area if I can. Once Charles helps me make sure my plane can fly. So in the background there is does anybody know Bob? What's his name? Bondurant? Not close to that.
something like that? Yeah, I know him. I don't know if anybody else knows him on the show. We have people from, just so you know, Steve. We have Stuart from Canada up there in your screen. Keith Trossel is in Colorado, and Dennis Adamison's in Indiana, and Brendan is in Pennsylvania. Hey, Brendan, and his son Angstrom. And then Mark Gerber, where are you from, Mark? I don't know if his audio is working yet. Mark, where are you from, Mark?
He's in Colorado.
He's in
Talking to
Colorado.
me, Charles?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
You're in Colorado also?
I'm about 25 miles north of Keith.
Okay, very, very cool. And then, so we have people from all over. I mean, we even have some that are, besides Canada, we have some individuals that are out of the country. They're in New Zealand and Scotland and
Ohio.
Ohio. Excuse me, Ohio. Ohio.
Ohio is a four-letter word.
Yes.
That's it. The mistake on the lake.
If you look in the background behind me here, you'll see something that you might recognize from Ohio, Gary.
Let me make it big, Mark. Hang on one second.
Oh, geez. I think we got an OSU thing here.
Yeah,
Oh, home
Where,
of the
where was
Buckeyes.
that? Where'd you guys do that?
this is my wife's Ohio State room.
All right.
Oh,
Very cool. Very cool.
We got pictures of Archie Griffin. We got Brutus Buckeye here. It's quite the place.
All right. Let me say hi to my friend John Miller. Thank you, John, for coming in.
Good to be here.
So John Miller, Mark is, excuse me, Steve. John is actually in Delta, Utah. So we have we're all over. We're all spread out.
Mm.
And then, so anyways, so the plane you're gonna bring next Friday, or is it this Friday?
I think next Friday, because this Friday is going to be too hot.
Okay, so next Friday, is it the plane behind you that you're wanting to
is.
fly?
It's a Brodak Zero with I don't know what, it's got a 10.6 prop and some kind of motor. I'm not sure which one, but I looked up online, it runs on 3S, and I have any amount of batteries you can imagine. So I'm just going to find the right
Wow.
one.
Well, the probably the person who developed that plane is Dennis Adamison. Yeah, the Dennis, he raised his hand. He's instrumental in developing most of the electric Brodak planes.
Yeah, I've done all the conversion kits for Brodak. Did you use one of the electric conversions on that, or did you use your own?
I bought it from Bob Bondurant's estate sale. He passed away about
Mm,
a month ago. I just bought a lock, stock, and barrel. I had grand designs about, doing my own something crazy, but I just found this thing off the shelf. All I had to do is change the power connector and just pick the batteries in my drawer that work. I'm an RC now. I have tons of RC electric models around the back. I have, so I have any amount of batteries you want. I got some 3S 2200s about the right. I think the right one for that motor. So
yeah, I would think 2200, you might need a 27 or no more than a 3000 to do like a full AMA stunt pattern or something like that. But if you just reach, if the battery, even with the 2200, you should be able to get a solid 4-minute flight out of it anyway. So
I'll tell you what, my last AMA stunt flight happened in probably 1975. So
well, you don't want to take a chance on being over practiced or anything. So.
no. I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to be controlling the throttle.
Oops.
Like with this.
Oh, you're gonna okay.
Idea is if I get dizzy, I'm going to just chop the throttle and land.
amen.
That's not a bad plan.
Well, first of all, I think I'm going to let Charles Carter have the first flight, so I can still I'll control the throttle from the outside circle. He waves, "I've had enough, Steve," and I'll just go like this.
Yeah.
Like this.
Interesting. Well, you mind showing us the plane, Steve? Mind moving it closer to the camera,
Okay.
or move the camera closer to the plane? However you want to accomplish that. Show and tells are very good for our show. Oh, that's pretty nice.
It's a Brodak Zero, and I actually picked up another kit of some other World War II model. Yeah, it's well built. It's super light. I mean, I was, I haven't seen that light of a balsa wood in years. When I opened up that kit box, it was amazing. I mean, the stuff you get now for RC hacks can be like 15 pounds per square foot and up. I
Yeah.
saw some wood that was like that measured over 20 pounds a cubic foot. It's like,
Yeah, there's some terrible balsa wood out there.
Yeah.
You mind showing me the engine and the battery compartment, all that, and have my expert Dennis Adamison check it out.
okay. Well, there's
Okay,
no more.
looks-
I think it just Velcro to the side, so it's got already tricks. Already ran on 3. I ran on 4S before I looked it up, and it really looked good on 4S. But on 3S, it's okay. And then the batteries will go on the other opposite side. And like I said, I've got. I think the ones I'm going to use are. What the heck?
if you just use the Velcro sticks, you know, or the tape, the double side sticky stuff and Velcro it to the side, you're probably gonna lose the battery.
Well, there's a couple of straps go all the way around it too, yeah.
Okay. Frankly, if you can keep it on,
Straps to hold it, yeah, that's.
on my profile, well, really even on my full fuselage models now, I've been putting the battery on the inboard side exclusively.
Oh, yeah.
Because you may as well have that centrifugal force working for you rather than working against you. So really just the way you have it there. Is that or is that the ESC there?
That's
Okay,
the ESC, yeah, the battery could be here somewhere.
exactly. I'd look for something like that only because it would be, I mean, it really safeties it. It just takes away the failure opportunity.
Okay,
So,
you know, there's some good sized straps that go around it that I use.
Yeah.
Also, so I don't know, I'll figure something out, but yeah.
even if you have to do something like, I'll bet, looking like there's enough wire there, certainly behind the motor stuff, even if you move the ESC to the outboard side, I think that's a little less of an issue. You know, tie it on with some tie straps or, you know, tie straps or something like that and then that would clear up the whole inboard fuselage side for the battery. But,
Okay. Well, I understand this model was actually flown with a gas engine at one time. It's got, you can probably see.
got the mounts
here.
there. Yeah.
Got the
Well-
facilities, for the, I don't know, whatever was right there. I mean,
Yep.
I was always terrible with gas engines anyway, so electric came along, I was a lot happier.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been very, very happy. And I agree that looks like a really nicely built airplane there.
It
So,
is. I don't think I could do this. I mean, I understand you can't even buy dope in California anymore. Is that right? Or is that just urban legend?
I don't know.
don't
I
know.
haven't tried to buy dope recently. I don't know, but I imagine aircraft spruce still sells dope. I mean, you know.
I think they did, yeah, but I guess somebody told me you can't. anymore. I was gonna put this in.
there are some excellent control line stunt builders in the state of California who are using dope finishes at least up through the color, and then typically using something like automotive clear coats. You know, the clear coat on top of everything, it just absolutely seals everything up.
Yeah,
And it's
when I was a
impervious
kid-
to fuel or anything. So,
If you go to your doctor and have them write a prescription for dope for
Yeah.
recreation use or
There you
medicinal
go.
use, and maybe you can get some dope that way.
There you go. Yeah, when I was a kid, we used to go get nitrate dope, you know, in quart cans for $1, like coast to coast dope, and like
mhm.
any old hardware, I mean, any paint store would sell it. It was like so for a kid, you know, when your budget is mowing lawns for $2 a week, you know, $1 for a quart of dope was a good deal.
Yeah, I remember the same exact scenario. That's what I did. I mowed lawns when I was a kid.
Yep.
And one of my customers actually had model airplane control line. And we worked out an arrangement where I would just mow his lawn a couple times, or maybe it was 4 times, then he'd give me an engine. And I just got paid in engines when I was a kid.
Very good.
Because he was out of the
Very good.
hobby and he had a lot of control line engines. That's how I accumulated the majority of my engines as a kid.
Oh,
So
these are my favorite ones now. This needs a new bearing. It's going to the factory to get a new bearing replaced. This plane flies on 4S and it gets about 4.5 minute flights, and it's really fun. It's a scale Tucano, Embraer Tucano. Last week we had a bit of a crosswind, and I did a pretty bad landing and ended up flipping it over and ingesting a bunch of fish. So it needed a new bearing anyway. So
Oh.
get one.
I haven't worked on electric motors. Is it difficult to replace bearings? Anybody know that?
Well,
Maybe use an arbor press and just press it out.
I have a better, the person makes them is Steve New of New Motors. He's been my friend for like 40 years. I'm just going to give it to him and say, here, fix this. And he'll just give it to the girls in the back, and they'll change the bearing for me.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, but Charles, on regular outrunner motors, bearing replacement is usually a 5-minute job.
Yeah.
Just not much to it.
This is actually an in-runner. It's an older motor. It's an in-runner, not an outrunner.
Okay.
Yeah, the in-runner, outrunner, whatever they call that layout, right?
Just a
The
regular-
external bell doesn't spin, right?
No, it does not. Just the shafts.
Yeah. So,
So now your name is Adam, do
Yeah.
you have relatives that are RC pylon guys?
my nephew was, he was on the whatever the electric pylon racing class is. He was on the
He
team
is.
one year.
Yep.
And I know he came out to fly with you guys once. You guys are like, at that time, you guys are absolutely the center of the universe for electric pylon racing.
Yep.
And he went out there once to fly with you guys, away from the FAI stuff. So
I remember
thinking
that.
of my nephew, Archie.
Archie, yeah. Yep, okay, there, that name is too, is not.
He was
not
the son of Archie, and who was the son of Big Art. So,
Yep. So I guess did Big Art pass away recently?
right.
Like a year ago? Yeah,
Yeah, we lost him about 3 years ago now.
okay, 3 years, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
I didn't realize there was a control line brand. I thought they were all RC Pylon guys.
isn't that funny? Yeah, we've been kicked out of every good group in the country. So, hey, last I heard, Archie is all over indoor. He actually, when he was a kid, like 10, 12 years old, he learned how to build models building peanut scale
Okay,
rubber models, which means he really knows how to build well,
yeah,
and he builds accurately, light, straight, all that kind of stuff. And that's always been kind of a first love for him. So that's what he's doing indoor, and he's starting to mess around with some outdoor stuff,
okay.
but he mainly likes indoor scale stuff. So,
Well, honestly, I have not built a model in probably 5 years of any kind because I'm just so spoiled with foam ready to fly. And, it's easy to be snobby and say, well, I know how to build them back in the day, so I can build something better than that. But
yeah.
it's easy to get lazy and just go, well, FMS is having a sale. And, we have a pylon race series with these 800 millimeter T28s. That's a lot of fun. We do it once a month and we get 10 or 12 people.
Is that the Horizon T28?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's a bunch of them at our club too.
Yep.
Did you say you had 275 members in your RC club?
We do. Yeah.
How about anybody else like you? Any other former control liners or might be control liners in there, you think?
Maybe. I tell you what, I'm going to fly. Once I get it figured out, I'm going to fly in the parking lot of our RC field and see who comes out to watch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have some people that are like Steve Newman, a good friend forever. He gave me a hard time. He goes, "What do you mean?" He said, "I graduated from that control line years ago." I said, "Did you fly control line?" Yeah, he had, what do you call them? Cox PT-19s and so on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
His brother was a similar ilk, and they did that together. And now he's like 67, he's my age, and he hasn't flown control line in a million years. But yeah, I'm going to see what happens. If it's fun, who knows?
Well, I know that a lot of the RC clubs around the country have been seeking out, in some cases just really helping out the control line modelers in their area and stuff like that. And they join the club, and obviously they're a minority in most of the RC clubs, but some of the RC guys, go back to what they used to do and at least, dabble at it. And it's there are not enough of us, modelers in general. It doesn't hurt to have everybody together if we can work it out. So,
yeah, I looked at yesterday's, or I guess it was Friday's, whatever, replay, and I saw a lot of gray hair. I said, "I'll fit right in."
Either turns gray or falls out. So
Yeah, exactly.
well, that's it. Hey,
What
Steve,
hasn't fallen out is gray.
I'm 68 years old. They call me kid.
They call you
Right.
kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Kid.
yes.
I'm only 62, so I'm junior.
Well,
It's
that's
hard to
it.
keep, it's hard to get that all worn off on top,
Mhm.
And you guys, pardon me. Let me welcome Gordon Delaney. Thank you, Gordon, for coming in. I appreciate it. And it looks like Mark Wise is making his way in here. And Tom Ramel says, like provided. And then Jeff Riley said, Ohio is a different country. My wife is from Ohio.
Yeah. So is mine.
All right.
Mine is too, but I'm also from Ohio, so I don't say much about that.
All right. Hey,
Hi-oh.
Dennis, you want to lower your camera a little bit? You're just seeing your lips up. Your chin's cut off in your camera. Oh, there we go. Are you trying to hide your shirt? Is that what it is? Uh-oh, I'm asking for it.
Let's see. Wait a minute. I was going to save it, but why
Oh,
not?
told my wife she should embrace Her mistakes. She hugged me. I
How
like
true
that.
it is.
Very good. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
That's
So,
it.
Has anybody done any flying lately?
Yeah, we went out today.
All right. Who's we?
Brent Williams, Paige Peterson, Jim Rhodes, Roger Kramer, or Roger. Yeah,
Wow.
Roger.
I know Roger, and I know Jim Rhodes, and I know Brent Williams, and I don't know the other guy. Pete, you said Peterson?
Paige Peterson.
Paige Peterson. I don't know if I know him or not. I don't believe I know him.
Yeah, he was a combat flyer and lived in Provo. And he got transferred and went to Sacramento, and we tried to find him, and I guess they shipped him all over the place for with Procter and Gamble. And I kept on trying to find him on the internet, and I finally found a Paige Peterson lives in Provo.
Wow.
I called him, and he had moved back to Provo. So
Very
we
cool.
got him out. You know, he was a combat flyer. When he packaged stuff up, he never even took him out of the boxes.
Huh.
The stunt plane and combat planes and boxes from moving. And they have been out of the box in what, 30 years?
Wow.
30 years. Well, now we got him flying stunt.
Oh, very good.
So he's building 2 airplanes over the last year. And keep them light.
Hey, Mike, thanks for coming in.
Mike.
Mike Lonke is in the house. Hey, Gordon, did you go flying? I know you have you flown since your accident, or you didn't fly?
I didn't fly. I just took my airplane, let Jim Rhodes fly it.
Okay.
Brett Williams flew it, and then Jim flew it. Jim told me that he gets light on outsides. So we moved the lead outs back, and we haven't flown it since we moved the lead outs back, but we got the motors finally get our lap time about 5.2.
I'll be right back, gentlemen. You can.
How's it flying, Gordon?
Oh, it's Jim thought it was a great airplane, other than I got to fix the outside turns. Not light up lines when you get down the elevator.
Okay. Real quick, can you tell me how much bigger you thought I should make my ventures on the fly streak?
What engine?
That's that OS 20 FBs.
Oh, 20?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you need to go any bigger than 225.
Okay, because that was the problem we had. Remember, the ventures were too small. That made it hard to tune.
Yeah, one click it was too lean, and the other click was too rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just too small a venture.
225, huh?
Yeah.
Okay,
Actually,
thanks.
what size it is now, we know we got to go bigger than what's in there.
Yeah,
So do
okay,
you have a drill index?
I do.
I use the drill index to find the size of it.
Okay,
And then if you want, you can call me when you find out for sure.
all right. Appreciate that.
You bet. Yeah, I found out that my bounce is really bad on uneven ground.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we had Brent kind of hanging on me all the time when I got up.
Well, I got a walker down here I could loan you.
Well, I think I'm gonna have one soon.
That bad, huh?
I'm trying to procrastinate, you know. So anyway, I'm gonna try a cave, see how that works.
Yeah, try that first.
I mean, it was so bad. It was, to me, it was kind of sad, but it was kind of funny, I guess, that how my bounce was gone there trying to walk on the grass.
Yeah, yeah.
Did I tell you?
Go ahead.
Did I tell you I fell?
No.
I was out front, and we have boulders for kind of a decoration out on front.
Right.
and I put a new sprinkler head on it. And I turned around and says, well, I can walk out to the sidewalk and I have to climb over the boulders. And that thought lasted about 30 seconds. And when I picked up my tools, I tried going over the boulders and planted my face down as hard as you can throw me.
Oh,
I didn't get my hands out. It looked like somebody gave me a right hook.
I don't know, Gordon, you've had quite a year so far. It's just about time to wrap you in bubble wrap, isn't it?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But if nothing else, I still go out and let people fly my airplanes, you know.
well, Gordon, falling on your face was probably the best thing because it didn't change your looks.
Well,
Nice.
It just makes you look more gnarly, that's all.
That's right.
You
it
just
took
look
about
tougher.
5 minutes to drag my feet across those boulders.
Oh, I bet.
And then I couldn't get up. I was hoping the neighbor or somebody driving by would see me laying on the grass.
Getting old is not for sissies.
Yeah, parents lied to me. I hope everybody else is doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, almost got my SV-11 ready to fly. I'm trying to decide whether for first flights to come up to your place when you guys are flying.
Yeah. You
I
know
think
how
that'd be
you,
a good idea, John. I think that'd be a great idea.
yeah. John, you know how your hand shakes?
Yeah.
Mine's worse than that.
No.
Yep.
Oh.
I kept sticking my finger in the prop trying to adjust the needle valve and finally I
Oh,
pulled my hand away and let Brent adjust it.
Mine is so bad. I cut myself with an X-Acto knife the other day trying to pick it up.
Yeah. I have
wow.
a hard time cutting a straight line now. Looks like Keith's doing well.
I think Keith's doing okay.
Well, yeah, I'm all healed up pretty much.
Healed up
Very
from
good.
what? Did you have surgery?
No, I stuck my finger or hand in the prop at Las Vegas last year.
That's right.
That's pretty well healed up and a couple other bangs, but everything's working out.
Yeah, I know how that is.
And
I don't
maybe
know,
Mike-
guys. Sounds time to recruit you to electrics or something like that.
Exactly.
I'm not sure, but
No sticking fingers in the prop for sure.
well, it's a little less likely. If you do, it's just as nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No reason to.
I'm more so because that electric motor don't want to stop.
No, those-
That's right. That's right. It'll break the prop off on your hand and keep running. So
Yeah, when I stuck my finger in there last month or 2 months ago, it stopped the engine. And the
Yeah.
prop didn't break.
Let me interrupt real quick. Caffeine, thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. And Mike, do you have a
Hi,
comment or
guys.
question, Mike? I know you've been,
No, I'm just listening, and I'm sorry, my bug zapper was going off, and I know that's why you muted me. I didn't get my screen door down in time on the garage, and I got a lot of bugs in here, so the bug zapper is working overtime right now.
okay, no problem.
that
That's what
explain the
you
hat and the sunglasses in too? Or
we just came off the lake, but see, I got my bug zapper up there because if I don't get my screen door down in the garage early enough, I get filled with bugs in here. But I got to have the door open just to keep it cool.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, but no, we just came in off the lake from all weekend Labor Day, so I'm in my
that's
motif.
great.
But I got zapped with an F2D prop yesterday on my
boy.
thumb, and I bled like a stuck pig all morning when Sam and I were flying. And it wasn't even that deep. I mean, I had my my rubber finger on starting,
Right?
and I just caught the inside of my thumb when it wasn't running. It was just a backflip, when they go and you don't think they're going to go, and it caught me on the inside of the back of my thumb, and I bled all for 2 hours. My thumb was bleeding. It's not a deep cut or anything, but it's the blood thinners. It's the blood thinners, and it just wouldn't stop. We got 3 combat planes that got just blood streaking down the wings,
Those are
It
good
wasn't
to kill.
horrible. I didn't need a stitch or anything, but it just wouldn't stop. It was annoying more than anything. But,
CA glue. CA glue.
You know, yeah, CA
NCA.
glue, but there was something else that when you shave, you could put it on and stop the bleeding. What was that?
yeah,
Astringent.
Yeah.
fix it, stip it.
Yeah, styptic
Astringent.
pencil or something like
Astringent.
that.
Maybe we should
Astringent.
have that in our flight box.
Super glue.
Yeah, or blood clotting stuff for sure. But
Yeah,
Sam and I
that's
went
what
flying.
we got CA for. So
Yeah.
We went flying yesterday. We lasted about 2.5 hours, and we wrecked all 8 airplanes that we took.
oh geez.
We didn't make it very far. We made it. We were like up early. We were at the field at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're like, man, we're gonna fly all day. We're gonna have a great day. You know, we're gonna fly till 2 o'clock till we get hungry and we go home. We got there at 9. We were done at 11:30 because we wrecked and crashed all 8 airplanes that we flew together. So while we were flying hard, we were flying hard. I mean, this wasn't no just kiss your sister combat, you know, chasing each other. We were really going at it, and we tore up everything we brought with us. So we were done. We got 3 days to get ready for Detroit. We're leaving for Detroit on Thursday afternoon for F2D combat, speed limit combat, slow combat, and half A combat next weekend. So it's going to be in the shop for the next 3 days, getting stuff ready to go. No more practice days before then because we tore everything up. So, but
All right.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't need stitches. That's good.
Yeah.
I have a comment from John Lytle. Let me read this. John Lytle says, "I'd like some guys from Vegas to come in some night talking about the contest, when to stay, where not to stay, general information. Looks like Golden State contest has been canceled. That's correct, according to what I read recently. The Golden State contest was canceled, unfortunately. If you're listening, Ruben, come in. And I got it, Mike. Thanks. You can come in, Ruben, and maybe do a little impromptu
Promotion.
about your contest. Yeah, promote your contest. I know Steven's probably hard at work, but if you're listening, Ruben, come on in. Or
well, Charles, if John's on Stunthangar, he can look up the flyer for the Las Vegas Stunt Challenge is on Stunthangar, I believe.
Yeah,
Right.
the information is, I believe Ruben's contact information is there too.
Right, and the hotel information and all that is listed on Stunthangar.
Yep. At any rate, if it isn't, you contact Ruben that way too. If if for whatever reason, if Ruben can't join us in time or something like that. But yeah, that should be plan A, I think, would be go there first.
all right.
Is he on Stunthangar? He's got to be on
John
Stunthangar.
Lytle, I think, is on Stunthangar. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on there. Lytle, Leidel.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's on
Leidle.
Stunthangar.
Yeah. And let me see. I think Jeff Riley commented earlier about Venturi's. He said 0.225 equals a shade over 730 seconds. And that must have been the conversation between John Miller and Gordon Delaney, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And Lynn Burrell's in the house. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate it.
Uncle Lenny.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. So have you done any flying at the Beanfield lately?
We flew a lot on the weekend. We had a fun fly there. It was good.
Very good.
It was a
How many
good
did you have
weekend.
show up?
Quite a few on Saturday, but Sunday it was the weather wasn't quite as good. The weather was good for flying on Sunday, but it was threatening rain. And soon after lunchtime, it was pretty wet and everybody had bailed.
Mm-hmm.
But Saturday was great. We had a lot of people there. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for most of Saturday because I had to work. So I just couldn't seem to get a break on that deal.
Oh.
Boy,
I
we
was-
get used to that rain. here in the west, everything's drying up so bad.
Oh,
So-
wow.
You ought to
Yes.
send some of that rain our way.
I'll see if I can shift it over.
That'd be great.
All right.
Unfortunately, it's
Did you
going
fly-
the wrong
did you
direction,
fly
ain't it?
Sunday, Lynn? Did
I'm
you
sorry?
fly- Did you fly Sunday even though it was threatening to rain? Did you
Oh,
fly?
I flew. Yeah, I flew on Sunday. We a bunch of us did some flying on Sunday. I flew some airplanes that I normally don't fly too often. I flew a Chipmunk and an old P-40 built by, now I gotta remember the gentleman's name again. He passed away in the US. It'll come to me. You have to give me a few minutes.
All
That
right.
sounds like me.
Yeah, well, we all have the memory thing going on. It's not always so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I ran into a problem area on my SV11. I was mounting the magnets, or actually getting that center section. I got the little dowel to go in and lock the front in. I went to set the back where I could set it down, and I carved out an area to put the magnets in. And those darn magnets are so strong. I put the CA down, and the magnets are so darn strong they pull it off the epoxy acted like a bearing, and they just pull right over and snap onto the flap horn. Then I'd have to dig them out. Got this epoxy all over. So I'm still working out a way. I think I've got one figured out to where they won't jump around like that while I'm trying to epoxy them in. So that's where the SV11 is right now.
That's the other problem with using magnets, but yes, they work well, but nah, sometimes it can be not a lot of fun to work with. So.
Oh yeah, it was like I put that epoxy there. It was like somebody greased the skids, you know.
Yeah.
Now, are you talking about putting epoxy in your flap horn?
Well, what I've done on the SV11, the center section where the cockpit is in that, I've made it so it comes off, and now I've got the flap horn and the elevator horn exposed right there.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to use the magnets, so I've got like, you know how I normally do it. I have a pin goes in the front, and then that holds the front, and then I just drop it down, and the magnets hold the back end. Well, I didn't want any magnets letting loose. I'd had that happen with weaker magnets. So I bought some pretty heavy duty magnets this time. Each one of them's good for about almost 5 pounds. So I thought that should work. So I'll be using 2 of them at a time. I should have plenty of hold there. Well, like I say, it was like put the epoxy on there, set them in there, get them lined up, let go of them, and they just slide off and go click onto the flap horn. So then I have to get my, my fingers don't work, so I had to get my needle nose out, pull them off, and yeah. So anyway,
Wow, that sounds.
I stopped after about 3 hours of trying to get them.
Oh,
Then
how frustrating.
Yeah. But that's why it's taken me so long to get it done. I can't pick anything up with my fingers. I have to use tweezers and needle nose pliers and things like that to grab things and put them in there. So getting my hands injured was not the best thing I ever did for my hobby.
No. I have a question from a chat person here. By the way, hi, Philip. Thank you for coming in, Philip.
Oh, there it is. Hey, guys.
Phil?
Hi, Phil.
So I have a comment I want to read from Jack Flashnot. He says, I'm back flying stunt after 40 years. Flying now makes me dizzy. Any ideas? Should I pivot or walk around?
I'm definitely afraid of that too. How does he do?
Try
Practice.
Try walking around forward or backwards.
Plant your feet and learn to do figure eights. Plant your feet and learn to do figure eights and do all your maneuvers out in front of you.
I also would practice when I got back in it, I'd put my thumb up like that, and I'd stand there and I'd turn circles staring at my thumbnail,
Yeah.
and learn to concentrate on that thumbnail instead of on what was going by. And that helped me.
That's the biggest thing I learned was just concentrate on the airplane instead of the background. If you look at the background, you're going to get drunk.
Yep.
But if I have a long layoff, even today, the thing that gets me is inverted flight. Lay over on its back and 4 feet off the ground, and you're getting around there. About the 5th lap, I start getting a little, holy cow, what's going on here? By
Yeah, well,
the
that's
6th, when I'm ready to stop and do something.
that's for that. Most of us go through that. Even when we're into the midst of the flying, it's that inverted. We're going the other way. 5, 6 laps, and after that you get dizzy because you never do more than that.
Yeah, it's been a challenge at times getting to where I can get that 6 laps in. But that's probably the best thing I can tell anybody is just concentrate on the airplane, not the background.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right, Philip. If I look down my lines, I will get dizzy. So Jack, try not to look down the lines. Just actually focus on the plane, like Philip Bailey said. What the problem is that we're taking in too much information and we're spinning around, and that's what makes you dizzy. So you want to just focus on the plane, isolate on that, typically just the plane, and don't pay attention to the blades of grass or the branches or trees. And I don't think you'll get dizzy if you just focus on that. And I think we all experience it after a layoff. I did too, but it went away after a short while. And then, like John said, turning the other way can be a little bit of a problem for a while to get used to turning the other way. Hey, Eddie, thank you for coming in. Eddie, it's been a while since you've been in. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed.
Yeah, been a while.
So now we have 16 people.
I've been listening to you guys on Facebook here the last couple of weeks and everything, but I just hadn't been able to get on. But I had a few minutes tonight, so I figured I'd stick my head in and say hi. Been a while.
I appreciate that. What you been up to? You been working on any airplanes or been flying?
No, I still can't fly. My shoulder won't let me.
Oh, me.
But I'm hoping to have surgery next month. I got 2 tears in my rotator cuff, so it won't let me. I can't hold my arm out long enough to keep an airplane in the air. So, but yeah, I've been dabbling with the JB Special. I still got to get my table in here where I can start on the wing. That's bugging me. So,
And boy, I tell you what, you got a bad shoulder or a bad neck. That's free pain.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, I'm hoping by next spring I'll be able to get one in the air.
Well, I hope you have better luck than I did. It took me so long before I could get them to do the procedure on me. I'd been 16 months before I could fly a pattern again. That's the longest I've laid off in a many years.
That's a long time. That's like an eternity for
Yeah,
I'm really.
I can't wait.
Eddie, whenever you're ready to go, you come down and see me down here in Franklin. We'll go out to Columbia and fly again, man.
Yeah, I'll bring more than one plane this time.
Smart.
Oops.
Let me say hi to Mark. Did I say hi to you, Mark? Or maybe you was trying to come in and I welcomed you prematurely, but welcome, Mark Wise. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, Charles, I started with my computer and the camera won't work. Then I went to my phone and I couldn't get a connection. And then I went to my iPad and I guess it's worth the money. So,
Yes. Yes.
But I would like to just throw one thing out because I heard a comment about it. I believe the Golden State event is on. David Fitzgerald talked to me about a month ago. They found a new location. So you may want to check. Howard would know.
We just got a letter yesterday. They were at their new location. It was apparently on an airport apron or something like that.
That's right.
And he did a vertical 8, and somebody from the tower saw that, says that, hey, we can't have that, and he shut them down. It's like, I got the impression that it happened like in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Well, I talked to Dave about 4 days ago, and he told me it was canceled.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that was their new site they got kicked off of. They had it cleared with the airport manager, but apparently where somebody in the tower shut them down. So
That's
Hmm. Yeah,
Did anybody
that's a
get to
bummer.
see Caffeine's, he videotaped his flight on his Banshee with the
Oh, cool.
LA-25 on it.
No, I didn't see it.
I saw he
Yeah.
made the post, but I didn't watch the video yet. So
Yeah, I can show it now.
Yeah, go ahead and show it.
Well, that was actually my my full flight after 4 months.
Here, and they can't see you.
Let me see.
Chicken.
We can hear you, the Gordon.
What's that?
Can you see it?
I hear it. There it is.
I was using the 10.6 prop and I launched it at 9,500 RPM.
You know, the motor sounds a little bit laboring.
Uh-huh.
You might want to try a different pitch on the prop. You could even go up to a 10.4.
Okay.
Or how much nitro?
He's got
What's that?
5% nitro.
5% nitro, yes.
So 10%. That would cure the problem.
Yeah.
I give in, look.
You know, Caffeine, you're getting close to where you might want to start learning how to do lazy eights, and that'll help you get ready for inverted flight.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I will definitely try the lazy 8 this coming weekend, I guess.
Okay, be sure and mentally fly about a dozen lazy eights before you do the real one. Just imagine it, you know. Now, do you have the stock nose on that Banshee?
What's that?
Do you have the long nose on the Banshee, or did you shorten it?
No, I didn't shorten it because the weight of OSLA 25 is the same as the Fox 35, so I just build it as planned.
Okay.
Yeah, it turns out really really good flying, I guess, because the CG is perfect. I didn't add anything on the tail.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the right amount of CG I got with the LA-25.
Good. Looks like you're getting a little better.
Yeah, and I feel that this plane is much better than it was before. You know, before the crash, it flies way better than before.
Oh, good.
I don't know.
That's
Are
good.
you having fun?
Yep. What's that, John?
I say, are you having fun?
Yeah. I had 3 flights last weekend because before I was not wasting, but I just spend so much time to just, figuring out what's wrong with my factor and so on. And so, yeah, last weekend I had 3 flights and yeah, it was so much fun to fly.
Anybody local watching you or coming to see what's going on when you're flying?
Yeah, I was flying with my flying buddy, but too bad he failed to take off. So I was the one who flew last weekend. So
Okay.
I was also going to fly my factor, but the grass at my club was too tall, I guess. So I don't I was afraid to if the line got stuck during takeoff. Yeah, so I just fly the Banshee.
Yeah, grass was kind of tall.
Yeah.
What you got there, Stuart? You got a Tudor ARF there? Stuart, you're muted, by the way.
Yeah, it's a Tudor.
Oh, don't say it like that. I think Tudors are pretty cool.
It is if I didn't crash it all the time.
Well, at least it's a tough bird.
It went in 3 pieces a couple of weeks ago, so we're
You
getting
mind
it back.
lifting it up a little bit so we can see it? You mind lifting it so people can see it?
It's beautiful.
They
Look at
are.
Right.
Very nice. Yeah, that's the Tudor ARF, everybody. That's a really good flying plane. I still have one, but mine's been modified. Mine was built by Walter Hicks. And I actually like it. It's a good flying plane.
Oh,
I don't have a Tudor. I've got the Tudor too.
Yeah, that's the Tudor 2. That's what he has. And I flew a Tudor 1 at Brodax.
It's kind of a shame they quit making that kit.
It is. Oh, it's a shame. I actually I had a friend kind of measure his, and it looks like it's about 120% of the Tudor 1 plans. So if you enlarge it 120%, I think something like that, it'll be the same size, something like that. I forgot what the factor was, so I might be incorrect.
120
Something like that, yeah.
or 0.120, I think it is.
We got a super chat in the house. Mike Millard, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Haven't seen a super chat in I can't remember. My goodness. Maybe the last super chat was from Mike Millard.
I've been.
Thank you,
Been a
Mike.
while.
Appreciate it. And Mike Millard says, hi, guys. And he says, I think I'm going to skip it tonight. No problem, Mike. Thank you very much for your support. Appreciate it.
I got a question for a couple of you hot shoe SV11 builders. All right, I didn't decide. I couldn't find another horn. I don't have another horn small enough to use in the elevator. So I'm going to have to use the stock one. Did you use the stock one in yours, or did you use a aftermarket?
I use
the elevator horn in the SV11.
I use
the aftermarket.
Both. I use the Tom Morris. I think the flap is 1.5 inches, and then the elevator is a little bit shorter than that, but it's a slider. It's got a slot in it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm using, and that's what I'm going to stick with.
Well, if I could get the adjustable one, I'd get it, but I haven't been able to get the order I've already had in for a month, so I'm not going to try to order anything else and hope it's going to come in time.
Yeah, that's a shame, but Russell is working, and I think Joe Gilbert said he bought it, that he bought a house, and so he's doing the best he can. I've spoken to Russell.
I know. I'm not calling him to rush him or anything. I'm not upset. I just was hoping to get the SV11 done in time to take to Atlanta, but it don't look like it's going to happen now. Unless the stuff comes in tomorrow, it's not going to happen now. But because the contest is not this weekend, but next weekend, and I got to have some time to get used to it. But swim things.
Yeah, I know it's be very frustrating. Something holding you up.
That's kind of, you get old, you learn that you have to be patient and you have to accept some things, and that's just one of the things we have to accept.
Yeah, I guess I don't, for what it's worth, I built a prototype for the Brodak kit, used all the hardware that went in the kit and everything like that. And I thought it all worked really, really good with the hardware as is.
Well, the problem,
I don't know, adjustable horns, it gives you more to work with and stuff like that. But if you're looking for just a good go-to airplane, you can build it right out of the kit and probably be pretty happy with it.
Would you use the 1-inch horn? I'm using the tall horn at the flap.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 1 1/4, or it's just under 1 1/4. What would you use at the elevator? The 1 inch?
The 1 inch or whatever. I thought it was the same size actually. Are you sure it's smaller?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's an inch. I don't know, because mine didn't come with horns. My box had been busted into, and
okay.
and I didn't get the elevator and flap horns. But the only horn I've got for the elevator is one that somebody else didn't use, and I've got it. It'll fit the elevator. But the flap horn that he gave me, he said was a stock one out of it, is I think an inch and I think it's an inch and a quarter. It's supposed to be, but it's actually an inch and 7/16. I mean, an inch and wait a minute, it's an inch and 3/16.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit smaller, but it's not enough to worry about. But the elevator horn in the outside hole is the same thing. It's 15. It's 50. I'll get it right in a minute. Yeah. The elevator hole is an inch, just under an inch, and then it's 5/8 is the small one. My memory ain't what it used to be. But I think I'm going to use the 1 inch at the back and the inch and a quarter at the front, and do like you did on it, Dennis. Put all three of them on the top hole.
Yeah.
Let it rip.
Yeah, that sounds like the plan to me. I was just trying to dig up that picture and put it back up on that, but that's the way to maximize the throw on it. So
yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I'm having to use I'm using a carbon push rod from the bell crank to the flap, and then a carbon push rod from there back, because I don't have the other one. So evidently the three things that come in that bag are the push rod, the two horns, and the metal rod that goes from the bell crank to the flaps. And I didn't get that. It's one thing that's missing out of my kit.
that's a pretty damn big thing. So
if you'd seen this box get here, it looked like an egg that had been squashed. To believe that thing netted a fuselage, 2 wing halves, stab, both elevators, and a rudder, and none of them are busted, I couldn't believe it.
So all the flights are basically, all the wood parts survived, and you're just missing a hardware package that fell out or something like that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, the whole end of the box was open and one whole side was open. So it just fell out somewhere in shipping. It was, I mean, for what the thing looked like when it got here, I'm tickled to death. If I could get another horn, if I could get a horn bent 2 inches right quick to go in the silly thing, that's what I do. And I still may try to.
What kit is that, Phil?
SV11. It's just like yours. It's a blue one. I've got a green one downstairs too. I was going to rob the parts out of my green one, and one of my guys said, "Well, wait a minute, I've got all those parts, but I didn't use them." He used stuff from Russell.
That's what I did. So I've got those parts if you need them.
From Russell?
No, I used the ones from Russell, but I've got the stock ones that are left over.
Yeah, I might try to mooch them from you. Did you use the stock push rod, or did you put a bigger carbon in it?
I used the stock push rod. It's 8
That's
inch,
what I
what?
think about doing. Everybody was talking about it being fiberglass and flexi, but mine's carbon, it feels like, and it's pretty darn hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's small diameter carbon fiber rod.
Oh yeah, it's small diameter, but it'll almost fit inside one of the big carbon rods. But I think it's hard enough. I mean, all this pull testing these lines has taught me something. If you can't stress it, with your thumbs like this and really put a bend on it, it's probably strong enough, because we're not putting near the load on these planes we think we are. Because when I was pulling those lines 30 pounds, and it was about enough. If I'd been just holding the end of the thing and somebody pulled the plane like we're doing a pull test, I believe it would have pulled me down at 30 pounds, and I pulled them to 51. There's no way I could fly a model airplane pulling that hard. My shoulders would be out of joint. There's no way.
Yeah.
Do what?
Gordon can on his twin.
I've watched the guy fly the twin, Gordon, and the guy that's got it in Canada now, and he looks like his arms are straight out, and he's leaning back into it. He reminds me of
Bruce Perry.
No, well, Bruce Perry too, but the fellow that flies the Philly Flyers, can ever call his name?
Banjock?
Dan Banjock. Dan Banjock flies his PA-75 powered Turbo Raven like that, but there's no way I could do it. There's no way I could do it. My shoulders just wouldn't take it. I just
I let Ted Fancher fly it, and one of the engines quit, and he goes, "Thank God."
Yeah, I tell you what, Ted's something else.
Yeah.
Ted is quite he's an interesting fellow. I wish he'd come back to stunt. I really do. Because
Well,
he's just such a
problems we got with neuropathy and our bounce, and
he's got what?
Well, he said he's done as good as he's going to do.
Oh Lord.
Years, he's just going to quit flying.
Oh shoot, that's a shame. He was just such a neat guy. I just really enjoyed talking to him and cutting up with him at Nats. It's about the only time I got to see him, except at team trials a couple of times. But he was just such a neat guy.
Yep.
He would explain something until you understood it.
Yep.
And that was something that, for me, I'm kind of hard headed sometimes. Now, if you draw me a picture, I'll get it and I'll remember it. But if you just tell me, I have to really think about it sometimes to get it. And Ted could explain it where it was just so vivid, you just saw it in your mind. He was quite a fella. I really enjoyed him. And his
why don't you guys try to get him in here? And maybe you have
boy, that'd be a blast.
I wish you would. It would. I'll tell you one thing. Those of you who were lucky enough to see his last airplane, it was a Trivial Pursuit, but it was called the Final Edition.
The Purple Pond Scum.
That thing was absolutely gorgeous. He had a pipe tunnel, on the plans. He's got the pipe instead of just hanging up under the plane. He's got a thing over it. It's in a tunnel. A Final Edition had it. I took a roll of film of that thing and managed to lose the roll of film. I don't know what happened to it.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, really, because I had the Cobra on there too. But that thing was absolutely beautiful. Ted could build a model, and nobody cut the cowl like Ted Fancher.
Oh yeah. Gordon and I were at the contest when that we call it the Purple Pond Scum.
Yeah.
Well, that was more the one that Phil's talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, on the purple,
Dwayne collapsed at the Nats.
Yeah, right before the Worlds. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, remember when he stuck the bee into the intake? He came across.
I remember hearing about that.
He came across on his wing over, hit the bottom, come out, and went about 10 feet, and the engine quit.
Oh.
Here he is over asphalt at runway.
Oh.
So he runs real quick because there's grass on the other side of the runway, and he runs over real quick and he sets it down in there, and hidden in the grass is a pile of concrete blocks.
Oh no!
No.
Well, it was kind of a ditch, so the airplane disappeared.
Oh, thank you, Lynn, showing us the picture of the Final Edition. Maybe it gets big here. Oh,
that's
it's actually
that's the one that A to B.
Wow, it's a pretty plane.
That was beautiful.
Thank you, Lynn.
Well, there must have been two of them because the one I saw was red, white, and blue.
That's the one I saw.
And it was absolutely beautiful, but it collapsed the wing at the Nationals, the year the Nationals and the Worlds were together at Muncie.
Oh,
thank you, Lynn. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lynn. I hadn't seen that one. That's pretty.
That's the
but
one
anyway,
I'm familiar with.
He could really build an airplane. He's quite a talented builder, and he was a good flyer too.
After he examined the crash, he found that he hadn't glued one of the spars. So he only had one spar holding the wing together.
Oh,
no. My goodness.
And when he looked at it, one of the spars didn't have any glue or doublers on it.
Oh, no.
In fact, Howard Rush is making his way in here. And Lynn Burrell, just so you know, your mic is muted, just in case you ever want to talk.
So that's what happened to it, that it folded. It didn't have one spar.
Wow.
And Howard Rush, thank you for coming in, Howard.
Hey, Howard, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Howard.
I don't see him yet.
Big question. Did they get a place to do the Golden State, or is it still canceled?
It's canceled. I talked to Dave Fitzgerald about 3 or 4 days ago.
Oh, okay.
And the airport the guy was doing the very flight like Dennis was talking about. And the guy in the tower shut him down.
Oh, boy. Well, that'll make the turnout at the Vegas be a bit bigger, I would hope.
Yeah, I
Which
wonder
would
if the
be
guy
good.
in the tower understood that the plane was tethered. You know, some people don't realize
Yeah.
that these are tethered aircraft. They think they're untethered.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an easy
Hey,
misunderstanding, but
speaking of tethered, let me just throw this out at you guys. I got an email from David Fitzgerald and Brett, and what it was a legal statement from one of the guys in the legal department at AMA. I can't remember the guy's name right now, and basically it was a document that we can use. It's the FAA saying that control line model airplanes are not under FAA supervision, which is really good. But
It is.
both Brett and David, particularly Brett, talked about not to use the term tethered when we talk to people about what we do. And the reason for that is there are tethered drones, there are tethered hot air balloons that really give you a very different image.
oh, okay,
You know,
all right.
they are really safety devices. Ours is what we use to control the airplane.
Yeah.
So even in the Pampa literature, it talks about tethered planes, and we have a council meeting coming up in about 10 days. I'm going to recommend we take that word out of there because we want to stay with, we don't want anything to do with the FAA.
You're right.
No.
So
What would be a better explanation of how we are different from an RC plane?
We fly on control lines that cannot by rule be any longer than 70 feet, center of the handle to the center of the airplane.
Yeah, the airplane can't get more than 70 feet high, no matter what. That should make it pretty.
Well,
yeah.
FAA.
That's why the word tethered is so good.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's not accurate.
It says in one word what those sentences just said. If we don't want to use the word tethered, I'm not sure, restrained, I don't know, it has to be something like that. And I don't know if that's restrained means that it's waiting to break loose, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope I hope they find a better, they got a wordsmith there in the console that can help that out. So
Dennis,
Yeah,
we had Page Peter.
I say what John says, and
Okay.
you know, how do you guys fly? How's this whole thing work? And I said we fly on lines up to 70 feet. It's a circular path. We control the airplane. But a tether is really a safety. If you look in the dictionary, it's almost a safety device. You know, it's limiting where this thing can go, and that's not what we're doing. You know, our lines are for control. So yeah, it would be nice if we come up with another word, but people a lot smarter than me said, you know, recommended that I suggest to people they don't use that word. You just never know. So I'm just passing it along.
Well, I like the idea. I just got to get used to using the term. Maybe we fly on control lines, or our plane is held with control lines. I don't know, but I'll work on it.
Yeah.
I'll think
hey
about
mom,
it.
hey mom, what are control lines? You know?
Yeah. I just hate the term.
Yeah.
Some people come up and talk about, you fly on control lines. Oh, you fly those models that fly on strings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh no, there's.
And I happen to have one in the back end of my pickup, and I asked him, come over here a minute. And I raised the back of the pickup up, and he sees this Thunderbird sitting here, just brand new and really nice looking. And he says, well, that's a lot bigger than what I remember flying on strings. I said, 18 thousandths music wire. It's a 60 powered T-Bird.
Some of us do fly on strings.
Well, guilty.
Unfortunately.
Guilty.
Yeah,
I do
guilty.
too, but you know.
Guilty and proud of it, actually. So
yeah, really. But I did have wires that day, and I showed him the 18 thousandths wires. He said, that's not what I remembered. I said, well, you don't remember a string model that cost $1,500 either, but you know.
Gordon,
how about the term fly by wire?
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Gordy, what did
Sound like an
Paige have to say?
F-16.
Guys, I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later.
Hey,
Take
thank
it
you,
easy,
Take care of
Eddie.
yourself.
Okay.
Take care.
Yeah.
Gordy,
Yes, sir.
what did Paige, I was interested what Paige had to say.
What page?
Paige
Uh,
Peterson.
He flew on the, what do they call the lines?
Oh,
Dennis was talking about them last week.
Oh, Spectra?
fishing line, Spectra.
Yeah,
Spectre lines.
I went around here to try it and he didn't have any line drag hardly at all.
No.
Yeah, they're great.
They do great.
Yeah,
I've
you're
been using
preaching
them.
to the choir here on that.
I've been
Yeah.
using them for 2 years now, and I even fly my 75 on them.
Really?
Yeah, no problem.
Wow.
I was scared of the knot.
100-pound test. Use the proper knot, no trouble.
You
And,
put
and a Lenny loop, right?
Yeah, and a Lenny loop on the clip, on the clips.
Gotta have that Lenny loop. Can't go without the Lenny loop.
That's
Well,
right.
otherwise, well, the clips will slide otherwise if the lines go
Yeah,
loose.
that's the truth. That's the truth.
Mhm.
Hey, guys, I think I have a word. How about the word constrained? You're constrained to 70 feet from the pilot. That would put the FAA totally out of your hair because kites can
That's
go
not
higher.
bad. Just curious, does the FAA have a word or a phrase or something like that that describes it? Maybe we could use the language because that's all official.
Well,
There's,
Yeah, it is.
there's nothing in full-size aircraft or anything that
No,
the
no,
FAI,
but the
that the FAI would be involved in.
I said
To
FAA.
where
well,
they'd
the
understand.
FAA apparently made the statement that Mark was referring to was apparently some lawyers working with the FAA. They have there's some boilerplate language there in that statement. All right, and if there's something there we could use, we ought to try to stick to it.
Well, I'll look for that, Dennis. It's a good idea.
But our RC field is 1.9 nautical miles from Lindbergh Field in San Diego, so we have a big problem. We're
Yeah, I
constrained to
guess.
200 feet, which
Wow.
is ridiculous. That's almost double control line height. But
Mhm.
we absolutely fight with them all the time, and we get there's a lot of traffic that goes over our field that gets vectored around Lindbergh's arrival and departure. So we know all about them, and we're in the list to get our whatever their review to get our altitude lifted to maybe to 400 feet. But it really comes down to the local air traffic controller, and basically they believe that where we are, if a general aviation airplane with one engine was heading to the Mission Bay VOR, they'd be over our field at 400 feet. So they decide as long as we keep below 200, then we're safe. But we can hear stuff too. We can hear the planes flying when there's a helicopter flying or a batter tower, which happens a lot this time of year. We know how to avoid it. But the FAA is a huge pain in the ass, and I think I don't know why they even bothered with control line, because you're constrained to 70 feet above from the pilot, so it's like a kite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the FAA's take on kites?
I don't
They
know.
go up to as high as you want to let them go.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
It blows my mind.
They're going to
Now,
be registering those guys.
yeah. We're going to do tell all the little kids, well, we can't fly kites anymore because they're not legal.
Well, they're going to make them register their kites and put their FAA number on them.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
it.
brother.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, brother.
You have to fly at a kite airfield.
Exactly.
Yeah, kite airfields only.
You got to put a transponder on your kite so the FAA can find it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And heaven forbid if the president or something like that is flying over, all kites are grounded.
That's
so.
right. Oh yeah.
Right.
I tell you what, that sounds funny, but
Not that
we
true.
were out flying the other day, and Air Force One shot landings at Greensboro Airport, which is 30 miles from here. But the guy come to the field and said, "Y'all need to land all them planes and put them back in the car." Dude, we're on wires. We're not going up. We can't go but 70 feet.
Yeah.
And he had to physically go out and look at one before he would get back in his car. I said, if you want to talk to somebody, right over there is the RC guys. Now they had one up, he's way over 400 feet.
Okay.
So that was, we've been told 400 feet. I still fly sailplane once in a while. And even my 2 meters, it's hard to keep a 2 meter under 400 feet. The 3 and 4 meters, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just don't fly at our field. Don't fly those at our field anymore.
Hey, Dennis, let me read a short paragraph to you. Control line aircraft do not meet the congressional definition of unmanned aircraft or unmanned aircraft systems. Control line aircraft do not navigate the airspace, and they have the capacity for direct human intervention from within or on the aircraft.
Yeah,
So
because you're
call it
attached
what
to
you
the
want,
airplane.
Yeah, because you're attached to it.
You can't really
Yeah.
navigate, can you? Yeah. You can't take
Well, that's
off
good
fly
stuff.
loaded drugs to Mexico.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, just call them physically attached airplanes. That's it.
That's a good
There
line,
you go.
yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
That's why I thought fly-by-wire kind of worked.
Good
It's got a buzzy kind of sound to it and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually,
Then you got a
fly-by-wire has a
fly-by-wire
different-
or spectra.
Fly-by-wire is really a synonym for radio control. You don't want that. And that's what fly-by-wire is. I mean,
no, that's fly-by-wireless.
wireless.
Fly-by-wire on a full-size aircraft, of course, means it's just electronically controlled, servos and things like that instead of cables and
F-16.
hydraulics
That's
and
right,
stuff.
okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
got it, yep.
So
The F-16 when it came out was our first fly-by-wire jet fighter that I know of.
You're right.
And I'm sure there was prototypes that were before that, but that's the first full fly-by-wire airplane that I remember.
Yep. You're right. All you do is the stick gives a computer hints.
Yeah.
Well, the Apollo command module was the first fly-by-wire.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. The cables didn't work very good on the control surfaces. They had to come up with a different way. So
I tell you what, you talk about guys that are brave, but think about the guys that were the first guys. I mean, if you ever watch the movies, the Shepard, when he sat in that thing and he had to tell him, light this candle.
yeah.
I mean, good grief. You don't know whether that thing's going to go whoosh or whether it's going to go boom. Those guys had to have some great big steel ones.
Mm-hmm. Well, John Glenn was sitting on top of a rocket that had that was known most famously for blowing up. It was
Yeah,
so dangerous that they had the ground crew an extra mile away or something like that.
Yeah. And he's sitting on
the
top
people
of
in
it.
the blockhouse already, they were in a far blockhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So, and John was kind of at ground, well, he was way up at basically at ground zero right at the top of it. So,
Yeah. I met him
yeah.
one time. He was quite a fella. I also met
Mhm, they
the
all
first
are.
man on the moon was at the Nationals one year.
Mhm.
And I got to talking to him. He was head of Eastern Airlines at the time. And those guys are, if you ever meet them and get to talk to them a few minutes, it don't take long till you gain a respect for them you never had before. You never thought of before.
Oh, yeah, I've always had tremendous respect for him. So,
Well, I've always had a lot of respect for them because I've always loved anything aeronautical, and rockets, planes, whatever. But you talk to those guys and they just, there's just an air about them or something. There's just something about them. You talk to them for 15 minutes and if you don't respect them, there's something wrong with you.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
So
just
those
like you're
guys,
not
I mean, he
paying
landed
attention.
on the moon in an air, in a ship that had a piece of aluminum foil between him and outer space.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. They could have somebody put a foot wrong, punch a hole in that thing, and the two of them would have frozen just instantly.
Mm-hmm.
That takes a lot of cojones.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, guys. I'm telling you, it's
Pretty good that all those guys could keep that lie up for so many years because we never went there.
That's true too.
I'm just messing around.
I know.
I just said that to be a smart aleck. I don't really believe that. I just said that to just stir the pot a little bit.
It's just because Steve isn't here. That's why you said that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, you believe the Earth's flat too?
No, we went to the moon. I absolutely believe we went to the moon, man. I just said that to screw you guys.
I know. I'm
Hey,
kidding you.
If the Earth was flat, all the cats in the world would have pushed everything off the edge by now.
That's the truth.
Long time ago. Yep.
That's the truth.
That's right.
Lord.
Let's get back to
Carl,
Molly.
Charles, do we need an airplane here?
I know. I'm thinking we need an airplane here.
All right.
Gotta find it.
I do want to say something to Mark Weissel real quick. Mark,
Yes.
thank you from Pampa for wishing Samuel a happy birthday the other day. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem, buddy.
That's super.
That meant a lot to him. I had that birthday post about us flying, and you said happy birthday from Pampa, and Sam was like, "Oh, Dad, the Pampa guy said happy birthday." So thank you for that.
You're very
Does
welcome.
that mean he's going to change his AMA number from Combat Kid to Stunt Kid?
I don't think so, Dennis.
Not yet. Okay. Okay.
Not yet. No.
We'll keep working on him.
So what did Macca send him? Did Macca say happy birthday to him?
Yeah, of course, on the Macca side, all the guys were like, happy birthday, Sam, you know, good luck, keep flying, whatever. But I made a post of our flying day on Wednesday on his birthday, and Mark said, happy birthday from Pampa. So that was just nice, you know.
That's super.
Absolutely. Well, happy belated
problem.
birthday, Sam.
No, he's our future.
Got to encourage the kids, man, right?
Right.
Exactly. You're right.
If we don't have any kids, I mean, Will Davis said something to me a couple of years ago that I thought was pretty funny. Will said, and Sam was like, I think he was like 6 or 7 and running around at Huntersville and, you know, just doing stuff and swinging planes on strings. And he was flying beginner or whatever. And Will, he said, hey, Mike, he said, you see your boy over there? He's going to end up with all the PA stunt ships in the world, man, when everybody's dead and gone and nobody does this anymore. Sam's going to end up with everybody's control line stuff if we don't get more kids involved. He's going to be the last grown-up doing it if we don't get more younger people flying.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Hey, Mike, I figure in about maybe 30 years, people will go to the Nats and they'll find Sam. And they'll say, Sammy, what was it like having Mike as a father?
Oh, God. I don't know where you're going with this, Mark.
No, only complimentary, buddy.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
So, is anybody,
I think he'll stick with it. I think after I'm long gone, he'll still be in it because I think it takes a certain type of personality to get the bug and get stuck with this. And I don't know if it's just because Sam's my boy or it's in his DNA or it's in his blood, but I think he's stuck. I think he'll do it long after I'm gone. Whether I'm with him or not, I think he's probably still going to keep going.
I think so.
And I hope so.
I think so too.
You know, or
I
at
think
least in some aspect of modeling.
Yeah.
Some aspect of modeling.
Pardon me, Mike. Steve, you have a question on the handle?
I don't know, do you guys still use these? I mean, this is what I remember as a kid.
No.
No, throw it away.
Where?
Burn it.
What's wrong with it?
No, don't burn it.
Now hang on to the nostalgia.
They're good for sport planes, but they're not good for anything you're trying to get any really good with.
Why? They're too
When you try out a new airplane,
No,
that's an
not
excellent
adjustable
handle.
enough.
That's
See
an
that?
excellent handle to fly a new airplane on, just to see if you can fly it and get it. Just play with it, and then when you get beyond just getting it, making sure it works, you're going to want to go to something much more adjustable and much more comfortable, because that thing's A, heavy, B, not adjustable, and C, that's just downright uncomfortable. Once you get used to one of these new ones, that thing's a dinosaur. I still have.
I'm just
the
curious.
cable.
Grab it in your hand. Just grab it in your hand like yeah, hold it up a little higher. Okay, one of the things. Well, first off, it's
Turn
upside
it
down.
over.
You're
Turn
upside
it
down.
over.
Yeah, there
No,
you
turn the handle up. There
There
we
you go. That dot goes on the top. That's the upline.
Yeah.
But the large easy adjust, one of the things with that is that typically your hand is a little bit smaller than the gap in the handle,
Okay.
which means it can slide up and down in your hand a little bit. You know, and that's the same. And if you do that, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So,
whereas
There
you
were
want
there
something
were
that's
smaller ones of these. There was 2 sizes, right? There's a large and a small.
There's a large hot rock and a small hot rock. The other
Too
thing
big
is
and too little.
the cable that's in that handle, those crimps just have a tendency to just fall off and open up sometimes because those handles are so old and haven't been made in so long. Those crimps will just go bing and the cable opens up on you.
And see that little loop on the back side there where your hand is?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
what happens when
dangerous.
you're flying there and you start getting a little static electricity?
Uh-huh.
That little wire jump right to the middle of the palm of your hand, you get an electric jolt there.
It'll
It'll
burn the
light-
palm of
it'll
your
light you
hand.
up.
Put it in a
Oh,
fire
there's-
or put it on a shelf and look at it, but don't fly with it.
Oh. I thought this was like a way of grounding the static on purpose. You want to be able to ground that.
Well, if you were always holding it where that was up against your skin, yes, but you'll find that you wind up with it further out on the more with the fingertips.
Oh.
Slide your hand out a little more.
Yes.
No, not up and down. Put your hand in there now. There you go.
And,
You're
you know, maybe
flying,
you
You're
won't
not
have that
touching
far
it
off.
with your hand.
Now that wire's not touching your hand, so it's going to jump.
Oh.
Build up the arc and it'll jump.
I don't
If you
remember
wanna
how it
use-
was. If it's- I thought I remember just gripping the whole thing.
It's a museum piece, man. Don't fly with it.
If you really want to fly with that handle, take you some balsa wood and put a piece at the top and a piece at the bottom and tape it on. Yeah, where your hand always grips it in the same place.
Okay.
Take some electrical tape and wrap around the center of it
Okay.
where you won't get bit. And it's an okay handle for sport flying. I know Tom Dixon, when he builds a new airplane, he starts out everything with the small version of that,
Okay.
just to fly it a few times. He said that in one of his articles in the Stunt World. But he's one of the few that still even thinks about a hot rock. Those things are very old, and they are like Mike said, their time has passed. They will come apart. I have seen one come apart. The wire broke at the crimp right there in the back where it comes out and goes in the back where you adjust it.
Oh.
No, on the back.
center. Yeah.
Somebody had taken a key or something and put in there and popped it out so they could get to it. And when they did that, it crimped the line a little bit. Well, over time, that crimp got worse and worse, and it finally broke.
Yeah.
Well, he lost his airplane. So
Hey, call Brodax and buy a $20 Rayco handle. Tom Dixon makes Rayco handles, copies, which are a copy of the Hot Rock, too, by the way. The Rayco wooden handle that Tom Dixon makes and sells, Brodak has them for $20. Go buy a $20 Rayco from Brodak.
Okay, I wrote it down. Okay.
Now
I couldn't remember
eventually,
the name of
Steve,
it, Mike.
eventually, Steve, if you really get into it and you get flying stunt hot and heavy, you'll wind up with a handle for every airplane.
Ah.
And the reason for that is once you get it adjusted, it only flies on that one airplane because it's the one that's adjusted for that airplane.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was first flying, I used a Hot Rock, and I had one handle and 3 airplanes. So anytime I changed, I had to readjust it, and I was always adjusting the handle. So I never really got the same input all the time because I didn't always get it back, where it was.
I don't remember. I remember having 3 or 4. I remember most of the small ones, then a couple of maybe one of the big ones. And I don't remember whether we, I know the half-A stuff, we used to just wrap the string around the handle and rubber band that to the wing, and the whole thing went together. But the big stuff, we separated the lines and the handles, and I don't
Well,
Yeah,
I store all my lines with the handle for a particular airplane still attached to the line. So I can pick it up and look at it. I paint my handles to match the airplane.
Okay,
So
right on.
if it's red, white, and blue, my handle will be red, white, and blue. I'll pull that out and I'll unroll it, hook it up to the airplane, hook it back up. The handle stays with the lines.
You never have to adjust it after day 1, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah.
makes sense.
One thing that Steve and Samantha did, Samantha likes one handle. I forgot which one it is, but maybe it's the Jim Smith handle. She likes that handle. So they had one. So instead of adjusting the handle, they adjusted the clips on the lead outs. So she was able to use the same handle for all her planes.
Right.
She adjusted the clips on the lead outs, and she just had
The match. Yeah.
Well, that's something which is, why didn't I think of that? Because I'm, like John said, I have a handle for each and every airplane. So I've accumulated, and these handles are, $30, $40. a piece.
Yeah, if you can shorten or lengthen the clips at your handle on a hard point, why can't you just do it at the other end on the airplane?
That's what I'm saying.
And you use the same size clips on your handle. That's
Right.
the smart way to do it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Then you do have lines for the airplane, but the clips are for the lead outs, and then that hard point can go from airplane to airplane to airplane.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like having a drawer full of handles.
Yeah. So do I.
I've got a box full of them.
That's what I have is a drawer full of handles.
Well, I got the handles, but I got lines on every handle I own.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Same here.
Me
He
too.
likes the Casman auto handle.
And I don't think it's a good idea to add clips to the airplane.
No, they're not. Nobody's adding clips to the airplane. It's just
The length of the
have
clip.
different length. If you're going to have different length clips, put them on the airplane side, not the handle side.
Right.
Different length, Gordon, not adding clips.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Put them on the airplane.
Instead of the handle, because then if you've got all your airplanes set up for that hard point handle and the bias that you want or whatever you want, you do your length adjustment at the airplane side instead of the handle side, then that handle can go from airplane to airplane to airplane.
Okay, take it another half step farther. I think like a lot of you guys, I always leave the upline clip on the airplane. All right. That means, at least in theory, I can have 3 clips exactly the same for all of my airplanes. And then that one clip, the one that stays with the airplane, that's the one that actually neutralizes the controls.
Goes on the airplane, yeah.
Yeah, the one that, and it's already on the airplane, so I can't misplace it or anything like that. So
Right.
Good
One
idea.
more way to skin a cat, man.
Yeah.
that's it. So
But, there's several good kits and handle manufacturers out there, but they average between, 20 to 40 bucks, maybe even a little more for some. You don't want a heavy handle. You want a lightweight handle. It helps you in your maneuvering and working the handle and flying. A lighter weight one is easier to handle. A heavy one kind of drags you down.
And John, you just keyed in on something there. You know, a handle's 20 to 40 bucks. So let's talk about a precision aerobatic airplane. What's the least factor in that? Your lines and handle, probably.
Yeah.
You're going to have, if you're flying a PA, you're going to have $600-700 just in a motor. Are you really going to cheap out on a handle or not have a handle you can put one on every air? I mean, if you can have 3 or 4 PA airplanes that you got, $1,000 each in every airplane, $1,000, right?
More than that.
The airplane, you built it, the covering, so $1,500.
More than
Why
that.
wouldn't you
Well, not always, but yeah.
a $40 handle for each airplane? You know,
Sure enough.
Or at least the right handle for each
or at
airplane.
least the right hand. Right, exactly. We're talking about this is like,
just remember, guys, what started this whole conversation is poor Steve just held up his Easy Just and says, "Hey, can I use this?"
No, I know, but it's good
We're gonna
conversation.
drive him into using that other thing if we keep this up.
Now he's got one of those boxes in his hand. We're in trouble here. We better.
That's it. We better
boys.
chill a little bit. So
He's getting the radio.
That costs a whole lot more
I
than
can safely
$40
say when you
handle.
program in the wrong model, you will crash, especially when the ailerons go backwards. And I've done that 3 or 4 times. But it's
Well, you don't see guys flying a PA-65 stunt ship on a hot rock. That's all I'm getting at, man.
That's right.
Or even, man, if you build a really nice Brodak kit, let's just say any Brodak profile kit. A profile kit's $150, right? You're gonna put another $100 in covering and building materials in it. You're at $250. You're gonna put $100 or $150 motor and package on it. you're at $500 on a profile airplane.
What's that thing with the long wings on it? Holy shoot.
Hey,
There
nice
we
picture,
go.
Keith.
I think that's like the
That's
Bob
gotta be
Hunt handle, I
Keith,
think.
right?
I got
That
one
is a
of
Bob
those.
Hunt handle. I've got one of those.
Oh my God. Keith must have ran down when we started saying handle and he pulled out everything.
Pull out every handle he could find.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
I
he
remember
just
those. I still
grabbed the
have one of those
the
too,
first
Keith.
dozen. That's not all
Is
of
that
them.
a
That's
Bob
just the
Hunt
first
handle?
That's
That's
what
a
that's
Bob
about
Hunt handle. Yes, sir.
I thought it was a Bob.
Here's one I think came from the emissions.
All right. It sure is.
Yeah.
Looks just like that.
And it's adjustable by, there's a pin there in the back with
Mhm.
little holes in it. You can move the thing up and down for adjusting somewhat.
Yeah.
So is that composite? Is that fire?
Here's a handle. I think Brodak sold this
That's
thing.
a
for
Brodak
Bob,
handle, yeah.
You
but
got a
Brad
Fancher handle
Walker,
up on the end.
Yeah, that's
I-
Brodak.
yeah,
I
Brad
use those
Walker designed
sometimes.
this thing down in Dallas. It's heavy and it's thick, it's heavy. Absolutely do not like it.
And that's a Brodak handle with a
Yeah.
3D printed grip on it. So,
Oh,
Yeah, but it's really heavy and
yeah,
not comfortable to hold for me.
I don't know.
Of course, two hot rocks or two
Yep.
easy adjusts.
Oh my God. The Sullivan, the dreaded Sullivan.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I got a more dreaded Sullivan than that one.
How do you like that?
What, this?
Yes.
I don't use it.
It's horrible, Caffeine.
Okay.
They're terrible. What is that
And-
next one there, Keith? Not that one, the one before that one. Wow,
Well,
what a
this thing, I talked about this once before. Guy up in Idaho made this thing, I think.
Oh, no, that Bert Brokaw's.
Yeah, Bert Brokaw. And
That
guy
looks
made-
like something that holds your leg in traction with pulleys.
No, that handle, you can adjust every aspect of that handle.
yeah.
Line spacing,
Yeah.
bias,
in flight.
in flight.
Yeah.
Wow.
See those
Wow.
little knobs on there?
Yeah.
And Bert Brokaw designed that. And Brent Williams' brother, Curtis, was making the handle part and marrying in Bert's apparatus into it.
Flight adjust.
Wow.
That's
Shit.
pretty neat. I've never seen one before. That's pretty neat.
It's kind of awkward to use. It's one of those things you'd use for the first couple flights to sort of get approximate line spacing and bias up and down on where rest regarding where your hand is and all that. But it's awkward to use.
Then you
Okay.
transfer those over to like a Fancher handle or somebody else's handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Here's the
you get
Fancher
pretty close.
handle.
There's a Fancher handle. That's
Yeah.
the one I like.
Yeah, I have one of
I've
those
got
kits. I just haven't put
got
it
the
together
long
yet.
arms on the thing. So this is what I flew with the Chisler. It's kind of sensitive.
Very lightweight.
And this one, I think Bill Lee had something to do with this thing, and
Yeah, I have one of those.
it's not very good because I don't know what the thinking was when you increase the width, why the line spacing, the line changes length and all that. Anyway, it's kind of an awkward thing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think very good thing.
Hold that up again, Keith, real quick. I'm holding one right here. Same thing.
Yeah, the curved things on there.
Yeah. I bought this from Doc Holliday, that you could adjust in flight, if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah, but it wasn't very practical, at least not for me.
I didn't think so either.
No, it's heavy and clunky too.
And
Yeah, very.
this is for racing, I guess, but I use it for the half A's and the profile half A stuff I've messed around with. But
Wow.
I got about 6 of those, Keith. Who made those?
Somebody in California made this one for me.
Yes, I have 6 of those, and we used them in speed limit combat.
Yeah.
They're a great combat handle too.
Yeah, here's one that Larry Ringer made for me a long, long time ago for half-8s.
Is that his little lightweight half-8 one that he's selling now?
I don't know. Well, the thing he sells now, he calls it the
different than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got something
exponential
else.
handle.
He
I have 2
does
of those.
some kind of a special thing where the thing pivots somehow.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I could never get mine together right. I ended up rebuilding it.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Do you think if we talked about illegal drugs that Keith would have an assortment to show us?
I don't know. I might. I don't know if Keith would, but I might.
Okay.
Is that all the handles, Keith? Did you finish?
I've got some more, but that's it, I think.
Charles, can you highlight me real quick?
Yeah.
I just want to show Keith. I have several of these as well. Same style with the little curve for your pinky, and they're spaced so your 2 fingers go in between.
Right.
And it's like you're holding a pistol right there. But narrow spacing, short spacing, that's a good combat handle. But you can't adjust on the fly or anything like that. But dude, they fit your hand like a glove. I mean, they're just right in there. And then the other one, talking about handles you can adjust in flight. This is an old Russian F2D handle, right? But again, you can right there on the top shortens and lengthens just by
I have a Russian handle. Hold on.
screwing the knob. And I wish it had come. I got a text message yesterday when I was on the boat. I've been waiting. My stuff from Russia shipped on August 21st from Roman Yavenko. I've got 10 airplanes, 20 sets of lines, 4 handles, and a dozen shutoffs coming from Kyiv, Ukraine. That's where Roman is.
Oh, very good.
Stuff back in April.
Yeah, Russia's a different place.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Howard. I'm sorry. You're right. I ordered this stuff from Roman, who's in Kyiv, Ukraine. And it shipped on the 21st of August. And I got a text message yesterday because I got the USPS tracking. It's in New York City. So it's in customs in New York right now. It took a little over 3 weeks to come from Ukraine to New York. So we're expecting it anytime. But
like another 3 weeks. Oh.
Well, it might be. Who knows? Yeah. But it made it out of there.
Yes.
And it's here in the United States.
That's very encouraging. That's very good.
The box made it out of Kyiv, Ukraine, and it's here in the United States. It's checked into U.S.
Great. Yeah, it's cool that those guys are producing stuff again.
That is
absolutely.
Hey guys, excuse me 1 second. Let me just, before I forget, I meant to say something earlier. Bob Gore, thank you for coming in, Bob. I appreciate it. Sorry to leave you there without even being acknowledged for the longest time. I know you probably don't care, but I try to acknowledge everybody when they come in. And so welcome. Thank you for coming in, Bob. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you.
I was just going to say that the handles, the current F2D handles are really a pistol grip. They are a pistol grip, and they just have 2 wires, 2 hard stainless wires on them with hooks for your lines. But then the adjustment is kind of on the back of your hand instead of being on the top now. It's on the back, and I don't have one to show you, but when I get them, I'll show you. They're pretty trick, man. They're pretty
carbon fiber. They look nice.
Yeah, they're carbon fiber. Like I said, instead of having a knurled knob on the top, it's back here on the back side so it doesn't get in the way. It's going 90 this way instead of being on the top. And then it's not a cable handle either. It's hard point with piano wire with hooks, and you just hook your line straight to that. You don't need line connectors or anything like the lines go right on the hooks. Because with F2D, you've only got I think you get 1 7/8 either way on your line length.
What you got there, Keith? And
It's,
before, I think, Stuart, just a second, Stuart. I'll be right with you, Stuart. Let me, after Keith, I'm going to spotlight.
Aldrich.
I got a bunch of those too.
That's a George
Yeah.
Aldrich handle.
That's
yeah.
the old Aldrich channel.
George
Yep.
Aldrich. Wow, I never seen that.
And he
Now-
used,
now
when
I
I saw
have.
him, I've watched George fly a couple times, and he used this handle
Which way do you fly it?
with a knob on the bottom.
Really?
Yeah.
George told me at Brodak, you're flying it upside down.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone, all the combat guys usually put it on the top.
Well, George told me that the knob was supposed to be on the top, but I have always flown mine with the knob on the bottom.
It works.
Interesting.
It feels better this way. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I thought
agree.
so
I
too,
got one
Keith.
of them here too, and it feels funny if you handle it with that knob on top. It just feels wrong.
It does.
All
but
right,
that's
here
what
we go,
George said it
Stuart.
was supposed to be.
Get out of here.
Stuart, thank you for your patience, Stuart. What do you got to show us?
Yeah, you suggested this or
Oh, I've
talked
seen that before too.
I got this and I kind of like it. I think I'm going to like it better than the Brodax. But these swivel, and the other day it swiveled all the way around, and I couldn't get it off, so I ended up flying the whole thing just level. I couldn't do anything else. So what I did was, if you do get one of these, make sure you put a bolt here, front, like on each side.
Oh,
Then
so
that
it can't go past it.
go
Okay.
around on you. So
Right.
just I thought I'd mention that. These also have lengthened ones. There's all different ones.
These also have what?
Oh, look at that.
Different brass
You
clips.
set your bias.
These, but different length. And then you
Okay.
also can lengthen and shorten here.
Right.
So I don't know. I like it.
You gotta
That's
adjust your
what
bias.
counts.
That's pretty neat.
That's
Very
what
neat.
counts. So, Steve, what do you think, Steve? We have enough handles in our hobby?
I think I'm
Charles, can you-
started this.
Charles, can you flip me up big again?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me get to you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hi, Howard.
Hi, Gordy.
So I managed to score 3 of these Aldrich handles on eBay for $21. I got all 3 of them.
Nice.
New in the box with the stickers. But we fly them this way. That's a lot of combat guys fly them. I never would have thought to
That
turn
makes
it.
sense.
turn
You
it
can
out.
use
It
your
doesn't-
thumb to adjust it. Wouldn't you use your thumb to adjust that knob?
Well, no, it's not an in-flight adjustment. It's biased a little bit, I think, toward the top, you know. But these are great handles. They really are. But I got something, man. All you guys have seen this. The old brown
Man,
fake light, and I don't know. You probably can't even see it. It says thimble drone on the side of it.
Yeah, I
Right
might
across
have
there.
one of those. I might.
Everybody's got one of those from back in the day. Now that's the handle if you're going to fly stunt right there. That's the handle.
absolutely. It's light,
Dennis?
everything like that.
Dennis,
That's the handle.
I've
Got
got
the
one.
little-
I can't remember what the name of it is, but on the bottom of it, it's got a spike, so you can stick it in the ground.
Got the perforation so that you know that your thumb goes on top. Can't ever get it wrong. You fly this on any, up to a PA 75, no problem, all day long.
Oh Lord, okay.
Yeah. Let me know how that works out for you. I'll get some
Yeah,
popcorn.
really.
Show us.
Oh, golly.
How about that?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen this one.
Yeah,
Let
I've
me make
seen
it
one of
big.
those before.
Let me make it
That's
big. Hang
cool.
on.
I got one of those too, Dennis.
I do too.
It's even fitted up with Spectra, Mike.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, goodness.
word.
Doesn't anybody have a you really?
I do in the
Nah.
basement. Yeah, I sure do. 2 of them, a white one and a clear one.
Not with me. I saw some at that contest, plastic and steel. That
Yeah.
heavy one.
I got a clear plastic one downstairs. It's got 015s on it, and a white one that's got 018s on it. I'd never seen one with 018s, but they had them.
Forgot about this.
I never saw
Oh
one.
my
that
God.
wasn't-
I need to have a
I
fire
ever saw
sale
one.
on handles. I got
Can't hear you,
I gotta
Dennis.
get rid of some handles. I got too much handle crap, man.
Can't have too much. He who
Yeah,
dies
I
with
don't
most
think you
toys
can have too
wins.
much.
I
This
think Mike's
is,
got me beat, which tickles me no end.
This is my own design on a handle.
Make it big. Hang on. There we go.
Okay,
ahead, Big John.
this has been around a while. This is on my Excalibur. So
Wow.
it's painted up in the colors of the Excalibur. But I wouldn't have experimented with making it a hard point. And it worked, but I liked it better as adjustable. Got a bunch of these. I'm gonna get the Kevlar thread and make them adjustable again. But they're very thin, you know,
Yeah.
and they're very light. And they're, you know, it's basically the bolts and the face piece. I bought it from a guy who had them, what do they call, plasma cut or something like that. I'm out of them now. I don't have them anymore. But anyway, and as you can see, it's still setting up with the lines. It needs a new set of lines. Now, just so you can see that here, this is a Fancher handle.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I like.
And I have an airplane that are those colors. It's
Purple and
it's
yellow.
my
All right.
it's my all American
All-American Eagle.
All-American Eagle. Yeah, and it's painted in like a
Blue Angel.
Navy show team colors.
Blue Angel.
So
Blue
John,
Angel.
why did you extend the one leg and the other leg is
Because my lines were that much shorter on one leg, and I didn't.
Why didn't you lengthen the clip then?
Because I didn't have a clip bender.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I got the bender. I don't have any metal for it.
I'm
Well,
sorry. I'll get that information to you, Phil. Sorry. I haven't
That's
forgotten.
Jim Lee will send you the wire for that bender.
Yeah, what I was telling him,
I've got to get in touch with Jim.
that for longer clips, you actually might need a little bit thicker wire, and then for shorter clips, you might actually need thinner wire. Because when you have a really short clip and you're trying to separate those ends, it's really tough because of the idea of the wire. So I have like 3 different diameter wire I use.
So you're using 40,000
idea.
for one of them?
I don't remember. I have to go look. They're in my garage. Let me see what Keith's trying to show me. Keith, what are you showing, Keith?
Oh, it's another hand. This one came from a guy in Tucson. He worked for Raytheon, and it's a cork handle. And,
Oh, interesting. Cork.
That'd be light.
It's really light. It feels good, but I don't like the way it fits my hand.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah. Well, it's got that pistol grip.
Yeah,
Angle
but
to it.
the cork is a good idea because it's super light.
And Mike raised his hand. He has a question or comment.
I do, and I don't want to bring down the conversation at all, but I think we should recognize today is the 2nd anniversary of Rusty Knowlton's passing, and you know, he was our benefactor and the guy who started this show, man. Rusty was our host.
Yeah.
Many years, and he passed away 2 years ago today. So
I actually was thinking about this, Mike. I was thinking about, pouring out a libation to recognize Rusty. Thank you.
I got one. I'm libating for him. But yeah, Rusty, man. Rusty was the host for many years before he passed and before Charles took over. So I just thought I'd remind you guys. And
already been 2
Thank
years.
you,
That's
Mike.
crazy.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I actually was thinking about putting the same picture up and recognizing Rusty.
I'll take you out in 2 minutes, Jack.
Yeah, Rusty was a really good guy. I used to talk to
Yes,
him
he was.
driving back from contests. And
Used to fly with him a lot. He was a lot
I
of
haven't
fun.
seen one of those in years, Dennis.
the hell is that?
It
What do
is
you
a
got there?
combination line reel and handle.
Where you at? Hang on a second. I mean, I guess usually.
That is different.
Oh, was that for E-Flight? Was that from E-Flight, Dennis?
I don't know where it came from. It is not from E-Flight, no.
I know they
But
had
it
something
is a
similar.
line reel,
Oh, and you
keep your
can
lines
wind it up
separated and
too?
everything like that.
Wow.
And after you run your lines out, you just grab the handle and you're good to go. You know, what I haven't
Talk
been able
about
to
getting
figure out is how in the heck are you supposed to attach the lines to it? And there must have been some other instructions or something that's obviously missing. But it's just
man.
cool
Talk
as
about
heck.
gonna get bit when lightning's close. You're holding the whole thing in your hand.
Oh, well, let's just say you wouldn't have to worry about any mere old static electricity.
No, no, you wouldn't.
You'd get the whole thing, baby. So
Yeah, yeah, you would.
it's actually surprisingly light, you know, for how far it sticks out and everything like that.
What is it, magnesium?
I think it would probably be flyable. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't see it replacing any of the others, but it's just I wanted to see. I had my brother. I wanted him to make a 3D printed version because I just like the separator and the lines and stuff like that. I thought was a cool thing. So
Dennis, you think
Yeah, I
the
do too.
lines could break loose if the plane got loose?
well, right now I can't tell you that because I don't know how to attach them.
You don't know how to hook them up.
I don't even know how to hook them up. So
I look to you for guidance.
Mark, that is scary in so many ways.
It's either you or Len.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
Listen, Dennis, I don't know anything about anything for stunt and flying, but if you ain't flying one of these, just my opinion, I don't know. This Smith Brothers hardpoint is
Yeah,
pretty
good handles.
hard to beat. And I've been flying CAS handles for like the last 5 or 6 years. I've been flying CAS Minato cable handles, which I like because they're very light. CAS handles are very light, but they're cable handles. I just started flying one of these, and man, I will never fly another handle for stunt
You
again.
got to buy a Ted Fancher handle, Mike. You got to get a Ted Fancher handle, man.
Honestly, you can't tell much difference. I have
They're
both.
pretty
and you
much
can't
the
tell
same.
much difference.
Mike, I got the same handles.
I do
love
too. I love them too. In fact, the one that I'm on Treying is one of those.
Yeah, but
And
the
he
Ted
likes it,
Fancher, you can extend the legs, where that one you can't extend the legs.
That's true. No, that is
Well,
true.
yeah, and
And
I
that
don't
might
know
be
that
a feature
matters
you
an
might
awful
like.
lot, but I don't know. I
Well-
bought one and I don't share your enthusiasm for it.
Well, that's not a Smith Brothers handle.
It
That
sure is.
Yeah,
no,
it is.
it's not.
Wayne
1,
and
2,
Jim
3, 4, 5.
handed this.
That
to
is
me.
okay. It is. It is. All right, I take it back.
It doesn't have your. You looks like you got some kind of tape on it or something.
Yeah,
All right.
And the wood might be a little bit different, maybe.
it's fatter. I didn't shave mine down as much as you did. I don't think.
In
I
fact,
left mine pretty fat.
This is the way you could get the pre-made handle from Smith Brothers, and that's
Right.
that's what I got from them.
Yeah.
I did not
How's this
customize,
one?
and I think, frankly, that may be one of the reasons I haven't been able to really bond with it. Is it doesn't feel right, but it
This is
doesn't feel anything. That's what's wrong with it.
yeah. No, this one's nice and fat. It's got a. Well, I got big old ham hock hands anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got big hands, so
High performance, feather light.
I don't know, dude. It. You know when it just feels right and it feels
How thick
good. And
How
this
thick is
one,
yours overall, Mike? About an
Oh,
inch.
by the way, hi, Steve Hines. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
how thick?
I just lost
Yeah.
my computer connection. I had to
Oh,
go.
I just figured we went too long for you, but we're going to end the stream in like 6 minutes, Steve. And
Oh,
then we have the after party.
okay.
So it's like, we love talking about
That's
this
when
stuff.
things get crazy.
Well, I mean,
Well, actually,
we talked about a non-moving part for about an hour. That's pretty nifty, I'd say.
Well, this has happened. This is like the second time in a couple of months we've had almost the identical construction. Somebody was asking about a good handle designs
Yeah.
before,
Okay,
and
yes.
everybody started trotting out their handles. And
Yeah.
if you want to see diversity, I guess would be the right word. Go to a control line contest. Don't look at the airplane. Go to
Look at handles.
don't look at the airplane side. Go look at the handle side,
Okay.
and you will see more individuality expressed on that side than
Yeah.
you will on the rest of the field.
Well, and the other thing is look and see who's winning and what kind of handles they're flying with.
Well, okay.
That looks like it's about an inch thick, Mike.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who are winning or flying with handles that I threw away 30 years ago. So so go figure. So
I have a comment from Gerald Wimmer, and he says, "Hello, Charles, and those on Stunthangar. Yep, miss our old host, Rusty. Who can we thank for starting all this? Rest in peace, Rusty." Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Talking about these handles, Brent Williams is manufacturing the Ted Fancher handle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So he's sold a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
No, Carl Shoup is the one that started doing it after Ted.
Yeah, that's one I got, two of his, Carl Shoups.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Brent Williams.
Brent Williams, yep.
He's on the in the vendor section. And I
He
think I think the whole thing was shipping about $40, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And the Smith brothers were late to the game. Their handles came out long after Brent was making handles and the Fancher handle was available. They just had a different take on what a carbon fiber hardpoint handle should be.
Well, they really embraced the Fancher handle was never about trying to see how light you could make it, and the Smith Brothers handle was. It's a simple carbon core, no steel in it or anything like that. Balsa sides, no hardwood or maple or poplar or anything like that. It's a simple design. All the structures in that core, and then the stuff on the outside just there to make it feel good. So.
And it is, and it's light, and it's good, and it works.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I hear a lot of people here talk about lightweight handles and stuff like that. I can't even tell the weight of the handle. I'm using the big old Brodak that's made even heavier by the fact that it's got these large grips on it and everything like that. As soon as the airplane goes off the ground, I'm hardly aware that it weighs a thing.
That handle is so nice. If you ever grab it, it feels so natural in your hand. You don't even pay attention to the weight.
Can I see that handle again, Dennis? I didn't have you big.
It's a shame that we can't get those, because that really, I'd buy 2 more handles just to get those grips and put on it.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's a stock Brodak handle with all the heavy steel parts in it. I think the Brodak weighs 6 ounces or something like that. It's insane.
Wow. Yeah, they still sell it, or they don't sell it anymore?
Oh yeah, they still sell it. And then my brother had come up with 3D printing something that is, well, it's got a lot of different contours on it and everything like that. It's got the finger grips and stuff. And he was trying to mimic the kind of grip style that my dad had originally, tried to achieve with his handle, which was biased, or well, it was unbiased. Don't get me started on that. That's an unbiased handle. All right. Easy Just is a biased handle. That's where I'm coming from. But at any rate, he was big with the finger grips. And I think Keith pointed it out. There's basically our hands are made with something like a 19-degree angle. It's not 90. It's got 15 degrees, something like that. Yeah.
17.
17. Okay. But at any rate, that's a natural handle. I mean, you literally can't pick it up upside down. It'll bite you if you do. And, and so, and I've seen numerous airplanes, numerous times. It's hard to imagine, even now with safety thongs on the bottom and everything else, people still pick up their handles upside down. It happens, But yeah, I really, really like that. I think one of the things I'm not comfortable with at the Smith Brothers handle is that I don't know I'm holding anything. It's and that one in particular has a slippery feel to it and stuff, and that's just, man, that's
Dennis, put some athletic tape on it, man. Wrap some grip tape on it, fatten it up. That's what I did to fit my hand.
Yeah.
I put some.
It might make it better. The only airplane I can fly on it right now is I have a 32-ounce Barnstormer. It feels pretty good on that airplane. So
I don't know, Charles. my score went up like 12 points when I changed to a Smith Brothers handle.
Ooh, all right. Oh yeah.
Oh, boy. I'm trying to think what to say to that.
Hello?
That's
What
because
was
they
that,
were
Gordon?
judging, wasn't it, Mike?
Say again, Mark.
Mark,
I thought.
thank you
I
for
thought
coming
the
in, Mark.
brothers
I
were
understand you got to
judging.
go. And
Yeah,
you know
I
what?
gotta
It's
go
time for you to
too.
stop the live stream anyhow. So it's
I
9
gotta go
o'clock.
too.
All right, John. Thanks for coming in. I'm going
See
to end the
y'all.
live stream. We're going to discontinue in the after party. And I want to thank everybody for coming in. And again, like Mike said, you know, Rusty, we lost Rusty about this time 2 years ago. And he was the one, I think Sparky did it for a little while prior to Rusty, but Rusty really put the show on and did an excellent job. And it was just because of his declining health that I had the opportunity to do it. And then he passed away. But fortunately, he got me set up to be able to do the show. Anyways, good night, Gerald. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. He just said that on the chat box. Good night. So anyways, so we'll be back Monday. Happy Labor Day, everybody.
Friday.
And
Friday.
we will be back Friday. Hopefully you have a chance to go in your shop or do some flying and come back next week with some show and tells or tell us about your flying experience. And until then,